Alright boys, we're going to start our next unit in regards to decimals. So in this particular video we're going to be looking at the place value. Okay, so understanding the positioning of certain decimal point places and how that relates. So it's going to be quite important because as long as we understand this, it's going to help us later on, especially when we'll be adding and subtracting decimals later on. So first I just want to break down, we have a number here, I just want to break it down into the different parts so you understand how this works. So basically what we have here is our decimal point. Okay, so we've got our decimal point here and everything sort of stems from there. Okay, so we need to sort of think of the decimal point as like the middle of our equations, or the middle part when we're looking at answers. So if we have our decimal point here, every number to the left of the decimal point is whole numbers. Okay, so this is a whole number. We're not going to go into too much detail in regards to these. You should know the place value of these numbers. You've been doing that since probably grade 1. But what we're going to be looking at is this part. Okay, so if this is whole numbers on this side we then have parts. So these are parts of a whole. Okay, so that means that each of these is part of a whole. All right. Now the way that we're going to do in regards to our place value in regards to these decimals is going to look at it as per that. So if I just continue to break down this, now it's important to understand everything on the left is a whole number. Now we know the units here, the place value of these. So here is the units, or the 1. This is the tens column, and this is the hundreds column. Okay, we know that, you should know that. So what we like to think of is if this here, so the decimal place and the ones unit, or the units column, is like a mirror, and everything flips on those 2 points. Okay, so this is how it works. If this is the decimal point and here's your units, if we have our tens here, this column here is the tenths. So all you need to do is add a th to the end of each unit from there, and then you can continue that on from here. So if we have our tens here, the first unit to the right of the decimal is the tenths. Okay, T-E-N-T-H-S. So we always add the T-H-S. So if that's the tens, that's the tenths. That's the hundreds. That's the hundredths. Okay, and again, we just need to add in our THS at the end. That gives us that certain point. So we can continue all the way down this way, knowing that if we know our place value on the left of the decimal point, on the right of the decimal point, we have our tenths, or our decimal place value. Okay, so we have our tens, our tenths, hundreds, hundreds, the thousand, thousandths. Okay, continues on, and it sort of mirrors what's going on either side. Now the important thing to understand here is that unlike the whole values unit, so here we know that hundreds is bigger than tens. It's sort of the opposite. We don't sort of listen to the word. Here in this way, everything on the left, the number to the left of that number, is always of a higher value. So here hundreds is bigger than tens, but in this case hundredths is smaller than the tenths. So the number to the left of that number is always greater. And as we go through the units, we're going to actually break down what decimal means, so it might give us a bit more of a picture. But all we need to do in this quick video is just to understand how we can break down and put these into place value. Thanks, boys.